80-20-365, a time management system to help you achieve your goals and dreams in 2021 and beyond. We all have the same amount of time. Our results depend where we invest it. This is Living Your Life Well Planned, the 80-20-365 success system with its inventor and my friend Adam Vincent Gilmer. I'm Gene Velitis, your host. And welcome here to episode 51 as we continue on with some incredible stars from the direct selling industry. Before we get going, my usual message, make sure you go to Adam's website, 80-20-365.com. You may be on it right now watching the video podcast. If you're on iTunes or Spotify or many of the other platforms that we broadcast on, go to the website, make sure you purchase Adam's Daily Planner. It's about $1 a day or whatever that works out to in one of the 26 countries who are listening to this podcast and video podcast. If you're in an area where it's impossible to mail you out your books, what we do is we'll send you a link. You can download it and get your information that way. While you're on the website, I encourage you to go into the bank section. This was invented by Sherry Tree. If you're not familiar with that, because we know people do jump around, make sure you listen to episodes 48, 47, 46, and start with episode 45, and it'll tell you all about the bank system. Essentially, what it does is it cracks the code of selling. You'll learn what language you speak, but you'll also learn the language your prospects speak so you can speak the same language. You know, as we were talking about in the bank system, if I was trying to tell somebody who speaks Italian about my business, but I didn't speak Italian and that person didn't speak English, we would never connect. Well, with the bank system, you learn the language the other person speaks, not the actual language. You'll learn the sales language they speak, and that way you can communicate effectively with them. This system helps people increase their sales by up to 300%. And I didn't make a mistake. You have the potential to increase your sales by 300%. You need these tools to build your business. You know, it's like anything, it's an old expression, but you can't sell out of an empty wagon. You know, you buy a McDonald's franchise, but if you don't have any burgers, you won't make any money. So in this episode, this is going to be really, really powerful. You know, in the previous two episodes, you know, how do I get started? First 24 hours, you know, we talked about lists. Our last episode was the difference between prospecting and puking on people with your opportunity. Now, I'm saying you're about 6 months in here. You're having a little bit of success. You're joining a team. Sure, you've had a couple of people drop out and you were a little disappointed. But now that train's, you know, it's starting to go down that track. It's starting to move a little bit. So what we want to talk about is how do I gain momentum in our business? As usual, we'll have Adam start off. He'll summarize the panel. We'll go around the table and we'll help you grow your business and try to change your life in whatever company you're with and how you're growing your business. Adam Vincent Gilmer, 6 months into the business. I'm feeling really, really good. How do I really start gaining momentum?
All right. Well, once again, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world, watching, listening, whether it's on, Instagram, Facebook, iTunes, or Spotify, whatever it is. And if you're watching here today, I would highly recommend you get the planner because, people who are successful in life have a plan, and the daily planner helps you live your life, well planned, and getting yourself into momentum. It's not just about you anymore. Okay. What you got to have happening in your sales organization and teams is you have to have people planned and organized. People, I have a picture on one of my Facebook posts that says, surround yourself with people that are on the same mission that you are. Now, what I mean by that is, SEAL Team 6, all these, military all over the world, when they go on a mission, everybody's prepped. Everybody knows what they're doing. Everybody knows, hey, they got their notebooks, their journals, their stuff. They're all on the same page, all looking the same direction. It's almost like when you jump on a plane to go somewhere now that travel's opening up. Every single plane that takes off, whether it's a Cessna in learning, okay, like little biplane to go up and say, let's go fly around, or it's a A380 flying to the UAE or American Airlines flying across the pond over into London, they all have a flight plan. Everybody on the crew, especially pilots and co-pilots, which you are of your business, have a plan. How is it that all the planes are successful? How is it that all the planes have a flight plan? Well, that's because the FFA came in and said, listen, everybody needs to file so that we know what the flight plans are of where the groups are going. So you got to surround yourself with people on the same mission. You have to have a similar plan, like I have, like others on this call have, or this video have, in order to be successful. That way you can read personality types. You can get people focused, with the goals and dreams, the visions, the whys of people. And now you've got a team of people. And as you asked one of the other episodes, how big is the organization grown? It's grown to 200, 300,000 people around the world who say, man, you're so lucky. And I'm like, listen, I've learned how to create my own luck. When you're on a plan, great things can take place. So moving your organization from just you being successful is having the other person or somebody in the sales organization in your success line say, hey, listen, you know what, tell me what plan you're on, and you've got to get them focused. And then the great thing is it's like a play, Gene, symphony, what have you. Everybody starts playing the music, and then the audience listening is like, wow, that was fantastic. How you did it. And guess what? It wasn't done by yourself, but it was done by a synchronized group of key people, leaders, like the ones that are going to be hearing about on this episode today. And also you, the listener, developing into a leader, understanding that, if you lean on your own understanding, you're going to end up exactly where you are. But if you take some tidbits of what these presenters are going to give you today, get on a mission with people that are on the same page as you, get planned, organized, and move forward with your own successful flight plan that we can help you orchestrate, you'll end up in an entirely different place. And you're not 6 months from now, but a year from now, 2 years, 5 years from now, people will be going, my goodness, how did you do it? What was the current turning key point to make things work? And this is the answer. You got to have a team that's all planned, and that moves you into momentum. People with similar successes, if you ask them in Formula One, same training system, some of the team captains jump around to McLaren or, Mercedes, whatever the case happens to be. But guess what? Those cars, when they line up, they're all highly tuned. They're ready to go as fast as they can. People are in the best shape of their lives. And guess what? They're racing for podium spots 1, 2, and 3. But bigger than that is the championships of the building of the teams, right? The constructors championships, and only the people in the top 10 get points. They're all focused, similar plan, all in the race, and they love to compete. And with that, Gene, I'll hand the call back over to you, because I know we've got an amazing panel here today, and I've surrounded myself with these incredible people. That's one of the reasons why I'm so successful.
And it's exactly what we do on the podcast as well. And around the table in this episode, number 51, joining us again, Jeffrey Gall, Sherry Sharman. And in this episode, joining us, Kim Galke. And what we're talking about is building momentum. So if you just want to play pretend, which is still a great game, even if you're an adult, I do it every single day. We want to talk about, you're about 6 months into the business, you're growing a little team. Yeah, maybe some people have quit. Get over it. It's going to happen. It happens in life. It happens in business all the time. Let's start off with Jeffrey. Jeffrey, 6 months into the business, I'm feeling good. It's growing. I want to explode out of the gate. I'm looking to you as my upline leader. How do I now really gain momentum?
Well, we heard it from one of our last podcasts, and that is it starts with consistency. If you think about yourself going up a hill and driving a vehicle, you can't let your foot off the gas. You need to be consistent in order to get that vehicle over the hill. When you start your business, pretty much every business, but let's talk about the social marketing, direct sales, network marketing business, you need to envision yourself as you're at the bottom of a hill. And at that bottom of the hill, it requires the most amount of energy. You're at zero movement. So to start that movement requires tremendous energy or effort. And you start moving up that hill. If you let off, you roll back down that hill. So think about pushing a rock up a hill. It rolls down and could roll right over top of you, and then creates a little divot in the ground. And it's even harder to get it started. So consistency is critical. Secondly, it's about you start, you get activity going, like you said, the first 6 months, you're into some form of momentum. Now you need to advance the momentum. You mentioned earlier, how do I go from 50 miles an hour to 1,000 miles an hour? And you need to shift gears. But when you shift gears, if anyone's ever driven an automatic vehicle where you have a gear shifter, When you shift gears, you need to also accelerate. It's a symbiotic relationship. So to shift gears, you've got to accelerate, which means what you're doing in your business, more consistency, more duplication. And as Adam talked about, having the right teammates that want the same thing as you. Not everybody wants what you want in this business. Some people just want free product. Some people are looking for an extra $300 to $500 a month, some extra $3,000 to $5,000. And then there's some people like all the panelists that are saying, listen, this is about lifestyle. This is about making major changes in people's lives. And, you know, we're going for the gold, so to speak. So you want to surround yourself with those people who also want the same thing. Because one, you can't do it alone. It requires a team. There is no way to succeed without a team. But you want the right teammates. You want the right people running with you. So advancing momentum is just doing more of what you're already doing, listening, bringing in the right team members with similar goals, dreams, aspirations as you have, and being consistent. And that's probably, that word consistency is so critical at this point in order to advance that momentum.
Here's what I love about your answer. It's simple. You're just keeping it simple. All right. Joining us for the very first time on Living Your Life Well Planned here on episode 51. What took you so long? Kim Galke is joining us for the first time. Welcome to the podcast and the video cast, Kim. It's really, really great to have you here on the round table for this episode. So we're going around the table and we're talking about, you know, I've been in the business for about 6 months. Things are growing. My check is increasing. But you know what? I want to be like one of you guys. I want to be a rock star. How do we gain momentum in the business, Kim?
Thank you for having me on the call, first of all. And yes, well, first of all, I think that you have to stay consistent. Of course, you said that, and that is a major, major point in this business. The other is to stay in contact with all of your leaders, to identify those leaders. You will know them by the questions they ask, by their movement, by their success as well. Be there for them, be available. Do team incentives. I think that's a major thing to build some momentum. Maybe incentive trips. I know that Adam has done that in the past and it worked really well. We have so many things that we do. Attend company events and try to bring as many people with you that you can. They always say the more people you bring with you to the events, the more successful the people success you're going to have. We do weekly Zoom calls, sometimes 3 times a week, as Sherry Sherman does very consistently, I might add. And that's a very good way of like building momentum, congratulating your team members, staying grateful to your downline that are working so hard with you because you can't do it alone. Teaching all of your downline leaders to be leaders, to be coachable, to teach them how to get their teams to be coachable. I think those are major important points. And so with that being said, I think I'll hand it back over to you, Jane. I'm not going to take too much time, you guys' time.
You know what, Kim, you hit on something that we haven't talked about, and I'd like to expand this just a little bit. How important is recognition when your team is doing something really, really great? Because I know recognition is contagious. You know, Napoleon said, if I pin the flag of France on a man's uniform, I know that he will die for his country. That's a very, very powerful statement. So in your business organization, how essential, how contagious, how important is recognition?
Oh, it's very important. We recognize everyone from becoming a distributor onto every rank advancement. It just feels good to be recognized, you know, when you're working hard and you're advancing and you're following the system. So I think it's one of the major, you know, it's right up there with consistency. It's recognition and being grateful to your leaders is highly, highly up there on the list.
Yeah. Well, you know, when you mentioned recognition and when I asked you that question, Sherry had this huge smile on her face, kind of like she knows a bit of a hidden secret. So Sherry, in addition to talking about building momentum, talk to me a little bit about recognition, because, you know, as far as I'm concerned, recognition is one of the key factors in building momentum. Am I right?
Absolutely, Jean. And welcome, Kim. It's so good to see you. And, everyone that's on here right now has to understand that, people will die for recognition. When you were saying that, about Napoleon, that is so true. And in this business, helping people, get to certain ranks and celebrating them, like Kim said, I mean, the consistency is so important. And Jeffrey brought it up too. And Adam talked about having a plan. It's like all these things go together. But when you get somebody who rank advances, we have a group on Facebook. We all recognize our leaders and people, and everyone makes comments, and you can just tell the pride that people get just being, recognized. Some people never get recognized. So this business, when I look at, especially, the company we're with, they recognize everyone from the little tiny position all the way up to the big positions, giving bonuses and everything else. And, when you talk about momentum, there's 3 stages of momentum. The first stage is building momentum. And that, when you're talking about the first 6 months, we're all in that. It's very important to understand that building momentum is tough. You're going to get lots of, challenges during that time. And you really get to see people's true natures during that first 6 months if you work with them hand in hand. And if you can get them into what's called the second phase, which is maintaining momentum. Because once you have your group, keeping them alive and, doing that recognition you were talking about, Jean, and just maintaining the momentum going on. But Jeffrey talked about, the advancing momentum. That's the most fun. I mean, that's basically where Adam is right now. He's advancing momentum throughout his whole team. He leads by example like no one I've ever seen. He's got a work ethic that, I would put up against anyone. So good that he got me to come out of retirement after 4 years of retirement to come back and start building again. And I'm having the time of my life doing it because I get to work with somebody who does lead by example. So momentum is those 3 phases. You're in one of them, and your goal is to get to the advancing.
Great. Adam, what a fantastic panel talking about gaining momentum in your business. Your final thoughts on this before we move on to a very, very special episode coming up next.
Oh, well, thanks for throwing it back at me. Look, if you're watching or listening and you're like, yeah, I've been in network marketing, and or hey, maybe you've been and you've tried, and maybe you're not getting the successes that you need to have. Look, we have a team of people that knows exactly what to do. It's not just my opinion that counts. Every one of these leaders that are on the call here have done it. They work with teams, organizations, groups. I've traveled around the world with them, some of them to even foreign countries, and just done amazing things. And lived and broke bread with different cultures and what have you. And at the end of the day, it's all the same. As I said, our organizations are filled with multiple faiths, multiple belief systems, different time zones around the world. But one of the things that we all have in common is that we want and we are successful, and we always work towards that. And the other thing is that the compensation plan, the products, and the company is the same for everybody. The difference is that who your support mechanism is, and that is the team. And together everybody achieves more, but you've got to be connected to people that are doing it, actively engaging, surrounding themselves with people that are on a similar mission, so that the successes and the objections and the failures and the things can all be put in and handled the right way. And I see a lot of people going out to being the Lone Ranger. And and I said this before in another event, the Lone Ranger was nothing without Tonto. Okay, and people, what do you mean? What I'm telling you is you have to have a team of people pulling, expecting, pushing, asking questions, and that's what we have here. And I'm very grateful to everybody that's here. And we're going to go break records again and again and again. And people are going to say, "Oh, you're so lucky." I'm like, "Yeah, well, we create our own luck. We have a plan. We not only have a plan, we live the plan. We do it." And now we got fly-ins starting back up again, which I'm really excited about, into corporate offices. And if you think you're good enough to, if you think you're good enough where you want an interview, you want to connect with one of us professionally, please reach out to us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever the case is, and message us. And the reason is if you qualify, we'll get you flown into the company. get your professional interview, and we'll show you the power that we actually have as individuals, ready to step up and salute your flag. So with that, Gene, back to you.
Fantastic. Coming up on our next episode, which is very, very special, and you'll learn why as we start off the next episode. We're going to be dealing with a problem. It doesn't affect everybody, but it does affect some people. And it's a problem that you want to correct right away. For some people, it really gets into their head and it really affects their business. In our next episode, we're going to be talking about you as a leader. When you ask yourself the question, why aren't people on my team working as hard as me? Now, there could be many, many reasons for that, but for as many reasons as there are some really great ways to correct it. And we're surrounded by people who have been through it, have corrected it, have increased their momentum, and continue on to be successful. So, on behalf of Jeffrey and Kim and Sherry, Adam Vincent Gilmer, I'm Gene Velitis, reminding you to go to 80-20-60-365, get your daily planner. While you're there, check out the bank system, do your self-assessment. A lot of this business has to do with self-reflection and knowing who you are, why you are, where you are, and learning how to speak the language of sales and cracking that code. So coming up, as I mentioned, a very, very special episode coming up. You'll find out why right at the very beginning. On behalf of the panel and Adam, I'm Gene Velitis. This is Living Your Life Well Planned, the 80-20-365 Success System. 80-20-365, a time management system to help you achieve your goals and dreams in 2021 and beyond. We all have the same amount of time. Our results depend where we invest it. 80-20-365, living your life well planned.